equal temperament, just intonation, and Pythagorean intonation. These are the 3 tuning systems that every string player needs to know. What are they and how do you apply them in music? Stick around to the end of the video. Hi, my name is Eric and I'm dedicated to helping you become a better violinist. There are 3 different types of intonations as I just mentioned. Let's talk about the first one, which is equal temperament. Equal temperament is also commonly used in piano tuning. That's because in equal temperament in a piano keyboard, the tuning is designed so that way the piano can play in various keys. So if I get to play in G major, then I could also play in the keys of A major, D major, even though they're really separated on the circle of fifths. Now, it would be a very different conversation if the piano or the harpsichord would be tuned in just intonation, which we'll get to in a moment. But equal temperament can be easily tuned with a tuner. And the tuner that I use is ClearTune. I'm sure there are other tuners out there on the iPhone or iPad or Google Android ecosystem, but that's the one that I use because you have a lot more flexibility with the tuning. 2, 1, ClearTune app recording now. For instance, if I'm going to be tuning my violin, you either have the options of 440, 441, or 442. Those are the most common, those are the common frequencies that violinists tune to, or even orchestras tune to. You may argue that if you get into Baroque playing, it's a little bit different because Baroque tuning is more like 432 versus 442. So you can talk to a fellow Baroque player about that. But in today's video, we're just working on 441. So for instance, you can see in my setting, I have equal temperament for 441, and that's my A. So I'm going to play the A. So for me, it's a little high. So I'm going to tune it. And once I tune my A, then I would tune my other string. Great. So I'm all tuned up. Now let's say I'm going to be doing a scale according to equal temperament, right? So if I play A, even when I tune it, it turn out of tune. Then I try to play a B on the tuner. You see how there's no dampening on the needle, by the way. So it's a very, very accurate, raw depiction of that B natural. So now I'm going to go for the C sharp. So that's already really flat. And then you would adjust accordingly. And then you go for the 3rd finger here. And when you're tuning, you want to be playing long bows because that's how the tuner is going to interpret your sound. If you just go, for instance, if I do short bows, the tuner can't really catch the actual pitch, so it helps the tuner for you to play a note long. So let's go back to first finger, B natural. I would say that's an accurate B natural according to equal temperament. So I'm going to play a 3rd finger on the D. Good. I'm going to keep that. So let's play this 3rd. If your ear isn't trained, you would just think that's a perfectly good 3rd. However, this is where just intonation comes into play because just intonation has this formula where you are not hearing any discrepancy between the 2 pitches. So if I'm playing, for example, let's say I'm in G major or G minor, I'm going to be playing the B natural in accordance to the G. So I'm going to play this G, and then I'm going to try to play that B natural. Sounds a little different than before, right? there's a little bit more resonance to the sound. Now, I'm going to play that exact B natural on the tuner and see if it's out of tune. See how flat that is? Then, but that's in tune according to just intonation. So just intonation will be very applicable for when you are playing chords, particularly in Bach. When you're playing a Bach partita or a sonata, that is when you would apply just intonation. I mean, you would tune your violin to just intonation once you get the A, because you want because the violin is tuned in perfect fifths. So you want the frequencies between the fifth to be completely aligned before you even start playing. And then it's up to us as the user of the instrument to apply the three different types of intonation. So that is just intonation for you. Now, I'll give you another example. So I'm going to do a sixth. So I'm going to do a G. Good. I'm going to do a fourth finger. Now I'm going to tune the fourth finger, the E, to the tuner. Just needs a second. I'm going to play it once with this equal temperament intonation. Sounds a little off, but I'm going to adjust that fourth finger a little lower. And that sounds more resonant and whole and full because both the G and the E are resonating. So let's just, as an experiment again, try that fourth finger. Completely flat, isn't it? I mean, it goes back to the beginning of Bach's G minor solo sonata. That sounds really good, like a nice G minor chord. But if I play the B flat, sounds a little sharp. G natural sounds a little flat. So that's when you start getting into some really interesting territory, because now you have Pythagorean intonation, otherwise known as melodic intonation. Now, what is melodic intonation, Pythagorean intonation? Whenever I explain Pythagorean intonation in layman's terms, whenever I explain Pythagorean intonation to a very young student, I always say half steps tighter, whole steps wider. Now, you can easily practice this with Schradiak. So you can play. So if I'm playing that C sharp, for instance, that sounds really sharp. Agreed? So when I play the D, so if I play, that leading tone to the D is what I'm going for. So if I'm going, now in a slow tempo, I'm going to be really paying attention to those half steps and those whole steps. Now, when I play faster, our ears kind of deceive us. And it's very, very interesting because when I play it on a micro level, it sounds kind of out of tune. It sounds a little sharp, right? The C sharp. But if I play it faster, especially the third to fourth finger when I'm playing Schradiak, that's going to be really, really helpful for you whenever you're playing a scale or you're playing a melody, for instance. That's going to really help you in terms of getting the intonation just right. The way I love to practice melodic intonation is through scales. This is the easiest way for you to get ahead in understanding what Pythagorean intonation is. So if I'm going to play a G major scale, that B natural sounds really sharp. But on the C, you can see on the tuner that it's very, very in tune. Then, now I'm over exaggerating to make a point. And of course, I want that G to be right in the center of that needle. And I always double check with my open G to see. And those are the three tuning systems for violin playing. Now leave a comment down below, which one do you struggle with? And if you watch this video to the end, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. It means the world to me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to our violin community. There are people commenting and helping each other out. It really has bloomed to a really awesome community. So subscribe, be a part of the conversation, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you want some other violin tutorials and tips, I'm gonna leave some videos over here and right over here for you to take a look at.